Well, well, well. 26 days into January, and look who finally decided to grace us with his presence. And with a reveal video, nonetheless. Better late than never, I suppose. Let's do it. What is going on, my fellow shenanigans? Happy 2024. As always, it's your boy Ajax, back once again with more Rattlecan shenanigans. And in this video, shout out to Doug DeMuro, we are doing the final reveal of the USACK build. I'm pretty sure that everybody watching this video right now, or the vast majority of you, know that the USACK build is actually an acronym for United Scale Auto Content Creators, and our yearly group build. But for those of you who might be late to the party or just watching this video for the first time, this group build, it was actually started by a couple of gentlemen, Mark Batson and Lucas C. A few years back, they started it, a group of them who made videos and shared their content with the community, all decided to build the same model and put their own unique spin on it. When they released their videos and gave this announcement to the community of course went wild, and then the next year they opened it up to the rest of the creatives out here on YouTube. And so naturally I got in, and my entry was late, as is this entry, but if you've been paying attention or watching my channel for any time, you know that that's kind of sort of how I roll. Nothing personal, my apologies, I'll try and do better. Probably won't, but I'll try. You're probably curious as to what's behind that box. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, or you haven't seen other social medias where this thing is debuted, here's your chance to finally get a glimpse of my finished USACK build. Here we go. All right, so there it is. The USACK 2023 group build is in the books. This, of course, is my hot take on the Monogram 55 Ford F100 Street Rod. Let me give you a quick once around or twice around with this, and then I will explain what all I did to achieve this this final. So to give you guys an idea of where this build came from, the one thing that I did want to make sure that happened with this build is I wanted to have an air ride suspension, and I wanted to make sure that I lowered this thing and I put it in the weeds. Now, I thank Fred Henry for his tutorial and his guide to lower the stock chassis and suspension on this kit, which is an awesome go-to. If you haven't seen that and you were thinking about building this, I will definitely leave a link to that tutorial that he gave here in my description. I decided that I wanted to make sure that I went all the way in the weeds with this. I took a hard left and moved away from what I was doing to this final build. I did not plan on cutting out the truck bed floor and putting all this stuff in place until after I did the research on the air ride setup, and I saw so many Google images of different one-to-one trucks that had different setups that were all wild, like this here. And so that got the creative juices flowing. I looked at what I was working on and decided that it wasn't going to quite work the same way I wanted to, so we rebuilt the body. And I'll show you the picture of what could have been or what would have been. But yeah, we rebuilt the body and we went with a different color, different direction, whole nine. A lot of fun. And honestly, not the reason why I'm late. I'm a slacker and I make poor decisions, and that's why I didn't finish on time. But let me cover some of the 3D parts, and I'll let you guys know just what all I was working with. So hang on. All right. So first up, the chassis that I used is actually a part from a gentleman named Krisbizzle, and the chassis was built or actually made for 64, 65, and 66 Revell, Chevy step sides, fleet sides, Suburbans. It was made to lower that kit. And I took what was there, made some modifications, and basically shortened, pinched, chopped, the whole nine, made it work for the wheelbase and the stance of the 55 here. That was that was actually a lot of fun. There was a little bit of trial and error. There was a lot more error than trial, but you know, sometimes it's like that. I'm gonna pick you up here for a second, let you look in here. The air ride suspension was part of the chassis there from Krisbizzle as well, and that fuel cell that you're seeing was one from BlackBox. I'm actually drawing a blank on where I got those batteries from. I did not leave myself a note for that, unfortunately. But yeah, the batteries and everything that you're seeing there are 3D printed as well. And then if we go up here up front, that engine is from MCS Design. It is a Ford Billet Coyote X motor, and I copped the valve covers from a gentleman, Motobas or Motobas is his name, and he has a supercharged GT500 Predator engine, and so I printed out those valve covers and added them to the billet engine, and I really dug the overall look. As you can see, I two-toned the valve covers to you know, to give it that custom look, and was really a big fan of the overall aesthetic there. For the wheels and tire package, Ryan Jones from Z-Force Modelworx provided the model for this, which are the 19 and 20 inch Halbrand Cobra wheels. And you know, you can see there that like while they're 19 and 20 inches, pardon me, if you look, you can see that these are significantly wider. I widened them, which is why the ring that we've got here is particularly deep. Wanted it to fill out the entirety of the rear wheel well, and just to have that nice, you know, kind of like, you know, imposing big wheeled air ride suspension look that so many of the trucks like this have. Up front, I made those wheels slightly smaller in diameter. I made sure that they were just a little bit tinier because I wanted to make sure that they didn't bind against the fender wells when this thing was finally stanced out. So they are a little bit smaller than the default print would be, and that's fine. That's fine. It works because it achieved the look and the stance that I wanted. So I'm happy there. To cover colors here, we've got that's just Tamiya Gold for the centers, and then the Revell Chrome Spray for the rings and knockoffs, and then Tamiya's Rubber Black for the tires themselves. Let me see. Give me a second here, and I will move us to a quick shot of the interior. The lighting is probably not going to cooperate the greatest, but we'll give that a shot. So hang on. All right, so it's not the greatest of views, but that interior there, BlackBox was the source for those racing seats that are in there, along with a scratch-built center console. Not a ton of detail on it, but yeah, a center console in there nonetheless. I actually used splash paints, interior colors of dark oak and tan. And when I first finished it, I noticed that because I had primed those seats with a white primer, the colors were very vivid. In fact, the tan was almost a mustard yellow, and the brown was a very sharp, very vivid brown with the dark oak. And so what I ended up doing after I first test fitted them and seeing what they looked like, actually shot them with Tamiya Smoke. Quick layer of Tamiya Smoke actually brought that color back down quite a bit. Really gave it a nice look, and considering how dark the interior is, it really subdued that brilliant pop of color and made it work with the body color that I chose. And speaking of which, the body color here is from Splash Paints. It is their Arizona Bronze color, and Arizona Bronze is actually a Aston Martin color. One of the things that I really liked about it, as I was looking at different pictures of trucks, and I was trying to come up with different shades and whatnot, I moved from the initial shade of that baby blue that you saw with the pictures that I took. But I went from the baby blue to this color here because I figured on this truck, looking at it, it was going to have a period correct like look to it, but at the same time a very modern look as well. So like with cars and trucks of the 50s being like, you know, those the shades of like either eggshell or beige or whatnot, I felt like this if it didn't have the metallic hues and everything, didn't have that deep shine, it could very much kind of like fall into that same motif. So it accentuated the classic look of the vehicle while also bringing it to a modern age look. And so I just felt it worked for the type of stuff that I was doing for the build. And yeah, after getting the 2K clear on it, I couldn't complain. So to cover a little bit of the bodywork before I go and I wrap this up, you can see, of course, the front bumper was shaved off. I got a 3D printed grill from that downloaded from Colts from a gentleman named Perweeka, I believe. Same thing with the tailgate. I know a few other people used that same tailgate. Were able to get a hold of that. One other thing that is 3D printed, and give me a second here because I'm going to have to zoom in and hopefully I can get give you guys a close or a good look at this. One of the things I noticed when I was, there we go, when I was working on this truck and I was seeing a lot of people's builds, I noticed that a lot of people did the emblem delete on their hoods. I of course did the emblem delete as well as the ridge delete in the middle of the hood, but I actually stumbled across the emblem for the truck on a site, and I just on a whim downloaded it and thought to myself, I wonder if I can shrink it down low enough and then print it out, if I could essentially use it as a photo etch and make it match the size of the original molded in emblem. And long story short, that's exactly what happened here. So that is a 3D printed Ford F100 emblem there on the side that was then, you know, painted up and you know, glued in place, and it was a little bit of a flex given the fact that like I saw everybody else was out here getting rid of their emblems on the sides of their hood, and I decided I wanted to be a special little snowflake. So there we go. yeah, but I was happy with the way that turned out, and thought it was a nice little touch to add to the kit when it was all said and done. The truck bed floor was cut out, of course, but I also built that package shelf and then used some diamond patterned styrene to like put in the package shelf there to hold my my air ride suspension bit. So, you know, even though I 3D printed a lot of stuff, I also did some scratch building. So I'm happy about that. Overall, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I got this one in the books. So looking forward to doing this again next year. I got to say that, like, for all the videos that I saw, all you guys who finished on time, like, props to you. I am humbled by the fact that there was such great work done, and it was done like well within the time limit, as opposed to me who couldn't quite bring it home. But I'm certainly looking forward to giving it the another try with this next build, and I'm also like anxiously awaiting to see what our next build is going to be. I know that there are a couple of people who want to see a Chevy or a General Motors build, since there have been 2 Fords and a Dodge or Plymouth Mopar as the subjects, and they want to see GM, Chevy get a little bit of love. But yeah, regardless of what comes next, I'm looking forward to jumping in the mix with everybody else. So I'll go ahead and wrap this video up here. Like I said, the The write-up for all the stuff that I did is in the description. If you want to get wallowed by that block of text, then all you got to do is click the arrow down there, and you can read all about all the stuff I forgot to mention while I was showing this bad boy off. Either way, I'm grateful that you stuck around to the end of this, and I want to thank all of you for your support. So again, enough rambling. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.